Okay, think fast. What is the number one phrase that flies out of the mouth of unprepared communicators when they want somebody else to calm down? They say, if you said calm down, you got it. What's the worst thing we can say to somebody when we want them to calm down? Calm down. Those and other ineffective danger phrases that you should purge from your verbal repertoire and what to use to replace them instead in today's lesson. Are you ready?
DanTheConnorTraining.com.
All right, so today is a biggie. It is one of a three-part series. In this three-part series, we're going to be talking about today, danger phrases and power phrases when dealing with somebody who's emotionally out of control. Number two, how to keep yourself calm when you're dealing with somebody who's emotionally out of control, and basically in just about any situation. And number three, advanced verbal and nonverbal tactics to use when somebody's emotionally out of control. It is a big deal. We have a lot of people freaking out around us, and we have a lot of unprepared communicators saying the darndest things. So make sure to stick around for all three of those. And if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button so that you'll be the first to know when these come out. Because if you haven't been to this channel before, I'm communication skills expert, author, and keynote speaker Dan O'Connor. And I specialize in tactical communication, meaning I'll give you the words to help you achieve your goal. And today what I'm going to be doing is giving you the words to use and the words to avoid. Danger phrases and power phrases. So if you have not yet taken out your danger phrase and power phrase list, now is the time to do just that. So we already talked about the number one danger phrase that people use when they want someone to calm down. But what do we say instead? Human beings want other people to feel the way they feel, especially when the way that they feel is unusual. Therefore, what we want to do in an emotionally charged situation, theoretically, is let somebody know, I feel you. I'm feeling the emotion that you feel. I understand what a big deal this is. I get it. I get what you're saying. That's what we want to project. But unfortunately, in the heat of the moment, we forget our skills because it's an unfortunate catch-22 that by nature of us needing the skills, it's an emotionally charged situation, and those are just the situations in which we are most likely to forget our skills. So stick around till the end of this, and I will give you free tools that you can download to help you practice these skills so that when you need them, they're ready. Because they might seem easy, they're not easy at the time that you need them. So stick around for those, okay? Now back to the danger phrase list. What should we say instead of calm down? What we want to do is acknowledge the way they feel and let them know we understand that. Something along the lines of, I can understand, or I can see. You know, I can see how upset you are. I understand what a big deal this is. Now, when I'm saying that, I understand or I can see, one of the things that many times you will see people do is they will block emotion when talking to somebody who's emotionally out of control. They will step back a little bit emotionally so that that person knows they're not going to engage that way. Don't do that. But we don't want to engage in their emotion if they are angry or if they're crying. We don't want to add to their pity party, right? So remember this one theory. This is one tip that you can use in a variety of different circumstances. When somebody is emotionally stuck and they're yelling and screaming because they want to be unstuck, that's why they're doing it. Match their level of emotion, but with a different emotion. So remember that. Match the level of emotion with a different emotion. For example, if you are super angry, I might be super inquisitive as to what is going on so that we can get to the bottom of this. Or I might be super embarrassed and apologetic that anything like this ever happened to you. I can't believe it. I'm so embarrassed. Matching the level of emotion, but a different emotion. So when I say something like, oh my gosh, I can see what a big deal this is, you feel that, all right? Danger phrase number two. On the list of what not to say, what's the number two thing that everybody says? Yeah. Oh, I know just how you feel. See, a lot of people have taken a communication lesson and they realize, okay, I need to empathize or sympathize. So I'm going to use an empathy statement. And so they'll say things like, oh, I know just how you feel. Oh, I know how you feel. What do people unfortunately think or say when we tell them, I know just how you feel? Or what do you think or say? Yeah, we think,
what do you mean you know how I feel? Nobody's ever felt the way that I feel. How dare you say that you know how I feel? You don't know a thing about how I feel or where I come from or anything that's going on.
That's what people think or say. So don't give them that. We know that when somebody's in that state, they are looking for an opportunity to fight. Don't hand it to them on a silver platter. So instead, what we mean to say is, I can understand why that would upset you so much. Because then I'm empathizing with them, but I'm not making the huge mistake of saying, I know how you feel, which is basically saying,
Oh, God. Yeah, I know exactly how you feel. I mean, I have felt that way so many times. Ugh, boring. Next emotion, please.
that's what people tend to feel like when we say that to them. What we mean to say is, I can understand why you would be so upset. I can understand why you're so upset by this. I can understand why you'd be. That's what we want to say. Remember that the key word is why. Instead of saying, oh, I totally get that emotion. I have it all the time. We're saying, I can comprehend the chain of events that have led you to feel the way you currently feel. I get it. Comprendo. That's what we're saying. Simple. And that will sympathize with them, empathize with them, and help them get unstuck because now they think you get it. They're that person. You know, they want somebody to feel the way that they feel. Let them know that at least you get it and you can feel their level of emotion and why. And danger phrase number 3. You need to.
Come on.
If you need to give someone instructions during this emotionally charged state, let's say that you're in customer service or maybe you're a first responder or something like that. If you need to give someone instructions and they are still emotionally charged, give them what's called a backdoor command. A backdoor command sounds like this. If I needed to tell you, take a deep breath and start at the beginning. Instead of using that command, take a deep breath and start at the beginning. I've already said all of those first things, like I've already used the empathy statements. I've already connected with them. I've told them that I understand. Now I want to get them into left brain activity. I want to get them out of the emotional right side of the brain activity. To do that, we generally want to give people commands. We want to ask them questions, tell them what to do. Give me this, give me that, remember this, tell me this story. However, many people aren't ready to do that. So if you're really savvy, you can finesse your way through that using backdoor commands. A backdoor command is when you take the command and you wrap it in something else, like this. I'm not sure when you'll be ready to take a breath and start at the beginning, but there's no rush. And when you're ready, I'm here, okay? I told you, take a breath and start at the beginning. I just wrapped it up in I'm not sure when you'll be ready to. Even if I needed to tell you something like, calm down, one of the huge danger phrases. If after I have done those first couple of things that tend to give people what they need, I then want to tell you to calm down, remind you to calm down, I could wrap it in a backdoor command and say something such as, I know how difficult it is to remain calm in these situations. And frankly, I'm surprised you're not even more upset. I don't know how you can do it, but I'm grateful. Now, I did 2 things there. Number 1, I gave you a backdoor command, remain calm. But number 2, I used a sly tactic that is complimenting people on their self-control when they have lost all of their self-control. The reason that I do that is because we tend to live up to people's expectations, even if they just told us what their expectations are. We tend to live up to those, especially when they're positive. But saying that would be absurd and make me look foolish and probably anger the other person. So instead, if you say to somebody something such as, I'm surprised you're not even more upset by this, you're letting them know, I'm impressed with how you're keeping it together. And people tend to behave as though, that's right, recognize. And you killed 2 birds with 1 stone, because not only did I give you a backdoor command, I complimented you on your self-control, and in the process avoided using all of those danger phrases. Now remember, these types of lessons are things that you have to practice. So I'm going to give you those practice materials in just a second. Remember to share these with other people who need it. If other people you think struggle with their self-control or keeping others in control, share this video on places like Facebook and Twitter where people go for information like this. And remember to subscribe and hit the bell so that you're notified when the next 2 lessons come out, because they're coming this week. And remember, above all else, after you go to my website, after you subscribe to this channel, make sure that when you're delivering any message to anybody, deliver it in a loving way.